Hello! It's time for another episode of Rural Concerns, a podcast where three old friends in different parts of the country chat about what it's like where they live.
I'm Sunil, and I'm technically a lord.
I'm James, and I'm quite posh too.
Oh, well, I'm Chris, and I'm actually working class. I think it's important to clarify, just so people know.
In the arts.
No. I'm the voice, and I'm basically Kez in the round.
The softest hands of any man I've ever met.
No, these aren't soft hands. These are calloused.
Mine are calloused from holding briefcases.
So, Sunil, we didn't get a chance to talk about it in the last session. Tell us about this trifle.
Sticky toffee pudding trifle.
Mm-hmm.
Marks and Spencer's. 15 quid.
A 15 quid trifle?
Yeah. I was searching for it in London, couldn't find it, went to Bath, went to an out-of-town M&S, found it, took it home, looked at the best before. I had 2 days to eat it. Mum can't touch it, she's diabetic, so it's on me. I don't know how many calories is in this thing. I don't want to know, but it's big. I'm telling you, I haven't seen a bowl that size full of trifle in my life.
Oh, is it like a proper trifle from the past, like in a fishbowl kind of thing?
Yeah, that's it, like a fishbowl trifle. So I had a fishbowl worth of trifle over 3 days. I went over the best before, so I definitely had a bit of off cream by the end of it, but it was still tasty.
Couple of questions.
You have 2 questions each maximum.
Did mine count? Did that count? The fishbowl, was that one of
No,
mine?
starting from now.
My first question. Would you be someone that would eat a trifle traditionally?
That's 2 questions. Do you eat, would you eat a trifle traditionally?
Yes,
Boom.
I do.
He's
No.
out.
Secondly, I don't understand the question.
You're out the game. No.
No. The question is, I just want to know whether you would...
You said, do you eat?
And yes, I do eat. And the second question was, do you eat a trifle traditionally? And my answer would be, I don't know what that means. James, over to you.
Right, okay.
Think carefully.
Do you think £15 was a reasonable sum of money for the amount of trifle that you got?
And my answer to that question would be, at Christmas, yes.
Would you buy it again if it was in the sale, like the post-Christmas whoopsies?
My answer would be an emphatic yes.
Oosh.
All right, Chris. All right, sorry. You can have your question again, Chris. Sorry.
I know this is that my arms are tired. I just want to know, I wouldn't normally, this is not a question, this is just a thought. Trifle's one of those things where...
A tiramisu, yes.
It's like a tiramisu, isn't it? It's like if you think of tiramisu...
It's a British tiramisu.
Tiramisu and trifle as 2 sides of the same coin. They're the same, they're connected, they're twinned.
And the third side of that coin is banoffee pie.
Banoffee pie. Would you eat... Do you like trifle? Normal trifle.
That was your last question.
You
was the same again. It was, do you eat one and do you like trifle? It's the same 2 questions.
But no, nobody answered me.
Why would I buy it if I didn't like trifle?
Or didn't eat?
Yeah. I'm trying to gauge whether the special trifle is consistent, like in terms of consistency. Is it like a traditional trifle? I can't get this into a simple yes/no answer. This is complicated stuff.
So in a sticky toffee pudding trifle, you're essentially talking about the elements of sticky toffee pudding layered rather than, so you got a layer of toffee and a layer of sort of like chocolate custard as well. And then thick, like big nuggets of sponge thrown throughout the topping.
So its connection to the traditional trifle is scant. Like, so you could come into this...
Well, what would you say is a traditional trifle? I'd say it's a layered, like sponge, custard and fruit layered.
Yes.
So this is sort of like sponge, chalky custard and toffee layered. We're essentially talking, I mean, I'd say a trifle is a deconstructed cake. Yes?
That's a very good point. No,
you would. Okay. No, you wouldn't say
I don't
that.
think I would, because it's got different...
That might be simplifying it too much.
I think a trifle is like just a bunch of different puddings.
I would say that about a tiramisu is a deconstructed cake.
No, I wouldn't, because I wouldn't put a shot of espresso in a cake.
This feels like it's something for the listeners, doesn't it? if you would like.
What is trifle?
It's like a science textbook or a kid's science textbook about dinosaurs and stuff and geology, isn't it? It's like digging back through time.
This is the sponge era. This is the custard era.
Yeah, maybe it's like the hundreds and thousands. This is where pudding technology has gotten to. This is the modern day of pudding technology, hundreds and thousands. Then it's sweet cream. That came from custard. There's some jelly.
You're saying there's an evolution throughout the layers?
Yeah, the bottom, basic pudding.
I say there's no rhyme or reason.
M&S are basically at the vanguard of desserts in this country.
Of all sweet treats, I'd say.
It feels like a dark version of, do you know, like the Justice League or something like that, where they've got Willy Wonka and they've caught him doing something mad on his hard drive, and they've do you know, like at the end of World War II, where all these Nazis, scientists, and they moved to NASA to do they feel like M&S have done that with like a Willy Wonka type maniac.
They got Oppenheimer to make a trifle.
And that intensity of watching Oppenheimer, which was
watching my ass blow up in the toilet.
Robert Downey Jr. is present and overacting in both.
So what was it? It was the Justice League gets Willy Wonka, and it turns out he was a Nazi.
That's it. And they're like, you work for us or you go to jail for being Nazi.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's Triflegate.
So Zack Snyder's pudding Oppenheimer.
Right. So the reason I've summoned you both here today is something's happened to me that I just need to run over. Specifically, this is for both of you really, but I thought it does specifically dip into Sunil's specific area of expertise. And I don't want to really particularly talk about this because it's embarrassing. And as you know, in this podcast, I come from a high status position. So it's very difficult for me to admit fault. Case in point, I have not apologised to the people of Darlington and never will. So it's tough for me to be like, I'm an idiot that's done a daft thing.
Yeah, okay. So you're being vulnerable, that's what you're saying.
I'm being vulnerable, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm signalling. that's wait a minute, James, that's a special sting too. We're being vulnerable. Yeah?
Cotton Eye Joe or something.
Cotton Eye Joe under that, please, James. We're being vulnerable.
Cotton Eye Joe or something.
Cotton Eye Joe under that, please, James. I got internet scammed over the festive period.
What happened?
It's bad. It's very bad because it's very avoidable and it's very stupid and it's really rocked me. A tech savvy, not an early adopter, but you know, like we're the kids that are good at technology, but now we're old and all of a sudden I'm getting internet scammed. It rocked me to my core.
We are in the firing line, aren't we?
We're in the firing line all of a sudden because it articulated in a way that tricked me. But honestly, what I'm about to tell you is successively just many, many, many red flags that I should have seen but wasn't thinking properly and didn't do any checks.
This is very exciting. Go on.
First red flag. This took place on Facebook Marketplace.
For God's sake.
Yeah.
Yeah. What, were you shopping for something or selling something?
I was shopping for something. I was searching for. Basically, this goes back to I was having a conversation with my good friend Jack, who would basically give me a really hard sell on the history of. Have you heard of the video game series Kirby?
Yeah, Kirby's Dream World and stuff.
Kirby's Dream World, the little pink blob that Nintendo made, where he can suck things in and have the power of those things. You know, it's like. And basically, me and Jack were talking about the Nintendo Switch 2 because someone's leaking some things. And we got onto Kirby. I can't remember how. And there's a game called Kirby and the Forgotten Realm or World or something like that. And basically, apparently within Nintendo law, so apparently when Nintendo came to America in the past, in the 80s or 90s or whatever, they fell foul of some sort of IP lawsuit. So they hired this American, a bald guy called like Jack Kirby or something like that. And basically he got them off the hook.
And is bald relevant?
Well, yeah, because he looks like Kirby does the character. And out of respect to this guy, they made this character Kirby, and you're like, that's already so interesting and so bizarre. And now apparently what they do with the Kirby games, they would be used as early prototype for Mario games, obviously the leading light of the franchise. Do you know what I mean? So the Mario games don't mess around. But basically, if what they're working on is too niche or weird, it becomes a Kirby game. And I was like, this is so cool. I'm in. I want to play this game immediately. So I went onto Facebook Marketplace and searched for Kirby. Apparently it's full of secrets, and I love hunting for secrets. There you go. They call me the Bloodhound. Do you know what I mean?
Let's get you on the pyramids.
But when we're like doing a game we're all playing together, I'll be just like off searching in nooks and crannies for stuff, do you know? So it does annoy people. Anyway, so I looked at it, I found it, and it was, oh God, this is so stupid. Right. It was geolocated to Newcastle, which is 40 minutes away from me. Yeah. It was a guy called... Wait a minute, let me see.
So this guy was selling a Kirby game, was he?
Yeah.
Did you buy a Doll's House Kirby game?
Yeah, it's so small. Yeah, I mean, I wish. So, wait a minute, let's do the transactions.
Just before anyone emails in, it was John Kirby. We all know that Jack Kirby is the Marvel/DC comic book person.
I could see your little face going.
Just because otherwise they'll get involved.
First red flag that should have signalled it was that this person who was selling it didn't have an icon as their image, just a neutral. It's so stupid to say it. Of course, that's a huge red flag.
Read us the listing. I need to know what this person said.
I don't know if I've kept the listing. I can remember the gist of it though. So basically it was like games, very simple, games available, can post if needed. I think it was that tricked me and was like, oh, I'll have it posted because Newcastle's a ways away, because it's like, oh, I could pick it up in Newcastle is what it's read like. And the fact that it's geolocated to Newcastle, which now I'm coming to terms with the fact that this person's not in Newcastle at all. But it said as a description, if you could see the game, it is available. Don't ask if it's available, which is an important bit of information for later. So basically, its name was
obviously
no icon. So basically, I was like, I wanted this game. And this is £22 is what I've been done for. Which after it happened, I mean, we're in between the festive period in between working and not working. So we're watching every penny. It's tight, so every penny counts. But I said to Nicola, I've done something really stupid. And she was like, what? So I've been scammed, and like her entire body language, like frosted over.
Yeah, because she thought it was thousands, not 22 quid.
Yeah, exactly.
So you have to tone it down when you say you've been scammed.
Yeah, she's like, in general, she's not happy with my reactions to stuff. Do you know? Because I'm like, oh my God. No, because I'm often like, I have my phone. I'm like, oh my God. She's like, what? I'm like, they've released a trailer for James Gunn's Superman. Do you know what I mean? So she's like, right. So red flag is that this person doesn't have an icon. Then I contacted him and was like, I like that. Can you post it? And he was like, yeah, but 20 quid isn't enough for postage. So I was like, what's that? And then he was like, £2.50. And now that's not what it costs to send something tracked in the UK. And that was another red flag. I think sending a package tracked is about now £4 odd, I believe. It's definitely not £2.50. So I was like, right, already. So, but then but I'm like blinded by just the excitement of wanting to play this Kirby game on my Nintendo Switch. So I'm like, yeah. So I basically it's like, I'll send me the money on PayPal. And this is another big red flag, which I'm embarrassed about. But could you send it as friends and family as opposed to it being a business thing to avoid charges? Was so stupid. Do you understand?
Well, hang on. Repeat that. That doesn't make sense. What is it?
Right. So when you send a payment on PayPal, you can basically select what type of payment it is. And if it was, I'm paying for a service or a business type thing, it comes with legal protections.
Okay. Right. Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah. So he's got you to bypass your own protections.
Yeah, he got me to cede all my sort of like
Understood.
Power in the relationship legally.
Good on him. He's already got you.
He's got me so much, and now I can't. I tried to nip do you know, like it's sitting in the pending, because I got it on PayPal I got it on my NatWest card via PayPal. So I'm trying to stop it at both points, you know, like, please, can we stop it? It's pending in NatWest, and they couldn't do anything about it. And then when you're telling people, you just sound like I just sound like a moron. So it's like a deeply humbling experience for me. And it's stuff that, why have I done? I don't understand why I've done any of the stuff in this process, because I am savvy to this stuff. I'm not an idiot.
It's all right. It's all right, Chris. It's all right. We'll be the judge of that.
I already am.
I said the payment, and then I was like, and with my address in as to where to send it to. And then I messaged saying, I said, I know it's a bit of a mad time with it being between, but when roughly will it be sent?
When can I have my game? Yeah.
Yeah, for want of a better word, I left the conversation. Yeah, immediately. And that's when I knew. That's when it became crystal clear. And I tell you what, there was another point where when I paid £22.50, he was like, I don't know if the listing's been updated. This is when I really knew it was bad, where it was like £20 for this game is a good deal, but not like an outlandish deal. Do you know what I mean? As in, I think if you paid like £28 for it or 30 quid or something, then you'd be like, okay, that's what it is worth. So £20 is like good deal. But largely, sometimes with Facebook Marketplace, this is just people selling stuff. And basically, it's like just people that might not necessarily be up on the market value of a Nintendo Switch game. Very naive on my part. I'm like, I've got a good deal. But then basically, because I paid, he tried to upsell the payment and be like, for 40 quid, you could get free games. And that's when I knew that this was bad. Do you know what I mean? Because Nintendo Switch games are like, they don't lower the cost in the same way that they lower PC game prices.
Especially not Nintendo-owned ones, yeah.
No, Nintendo-owned ones, they're basically, it's like buying fucking gold bullion. It retains its value indefinitely. I could pass these games down to my grandchild and they will still cost the same. They will make a profit, you know. They'll be like, this is a mad amount of stuff going on. So that's when he's trying to get me to get free games for 40 quid. I'm like, oh no, you've been an idiot. So then I just approached it with nicety and was just like, so when can I have my game? Left the conversation, blocked me.
Blocked you?
I can't see them. They're still on there. No recourse via Facebook's of course, Facebook's entire business.
Yes, because you bypassed it.
I bypassed it. Facebook's entire model, though, is based around not accepting responsibility for. They are a platform. People put stuff on the platform. That's between you and the person who's put on the platform. That's how they tackle it.
But there were protections, but you bypassed them.
I don't think Facebook Marketplace has a function to buy directly through Facebook Marketplace. I think it's a bartering thing that's set up. A lot of it is geographically located stuff, isn't it? So if someone was selling a chest of drawers in Carlisle, Facebook connects us, but I would drive to Carlisle and give that person 40 quid and take receipt of it there. They're not a commerce platform. It's like connecting two people to do a deal independently. James, you're making a lot of faces that I believe there's some judgment going on.
No, not at all. I know the thrill of finding a video game that you want and a deal, and it seems like a good deal. I've seen someone buy a picture of some batteries online by accident.
Right. Can I ask, did this guy have feedback? Do they give feedback for sellers on there? Or is it just a random person's account?
I'm blocked now. I can't see him. It's like they're invisible.
But you must have checked before you bought it.
No.
What, you didn't check at all what the feedback was?
I didn't check the process at all.
Right. So this is the first time you bought something on Marketplace, is it?
Yeah. I think maybe me and Nicola might have got some local, like that, but it was very much, like I said, dealt with in person.
I would have thought it's pretty much assumed that Facebook Marketplace is a hive of villainy anyway, isn't it?
Of course it is, and it should have been to me. And I'm not naive.
You're not. You just got excited, Chris.
This is impulse. This is why I don't do anything based on impulse.
I don't think you're a particularly impulsive person, but I just think you got excited about a little game.
I call it a little game. It's like an ad.
22 quid. You can charge that. You can put that down to experience.
I know. It's just like when money's tight and stuff, and you're like, of course.
I've been scammed 22 quid for a game. The kid's got no food for a month. Sorry. You're not that tight for money.
No, we're not like at the immediate breadline, but there's definitely chats about moving money around and stuff. So, and it's Christmas, so I just got too excited. So I did that.
So can I find this guy on my Facebook account?
I believe that you might be able to, and I'm going to give everybody their email address.
Yeah.
This is my first login for like 3 years.
James?
Right, what's his name?
Whoa.
Can I tell you what I did? I got Nicola to check it out because I was trying to figure out like what had happened where he just. This is where I figured out he was invisible. Yeah, because I'd been blocked, which feels so cheeky. But I did a thing. I was like, like a raptor testing the fence.
Yeah.
Where I remembered from the description of the game that it said, "Don't ask if it's available if you can see it." So I said to Nicola, I said, "Can you search for this? And can you email the seller and say, is this game still available?"
Yes.
And she got a really shirty message back that was like, "Of course it's available." And then she was instantly blocked. And then I was like, "Why are you asking if it's available when it says it's available, blocked?" So I'm like, so I've got that. But then I've messaged my friend. Basically, I think, what can I do for revenge?
Can you just tell me his name so I can look him up?
B, obviously.
Which is
B.
James, can I read the email address?
I think we probably won't put it.
Of a scammer.
It is a scammer. I don't like it. But you might be doing all this, and then like this episode comes out, and then through the post, a battered Switch game comes. Have you given it 5 working days?
I think he left the minute I asked when I was going to get my game, he left the conversation and blocked me. So I sort of.
The person clearly hasn't got any patience. This is more vigilante justice, Chris.
I sent a screenshot of his face to the WhatsApp group.
Were you scammed by the child in the foreground or the one in the background?
It's mad. It is mad to me you would buy anything from a man that looks like that.
But I didn't see this picture. I don't know where you've got this from. But could this be a different person?
A different person called Gaming?
Yeah, but there was no picture on mine, so maybe he's...
What was the product you searched for on Marketplace?
Well, no, there is a YouTuber.
Yeah, James, what we will not do is lead a witch hunt against honest content creators on YouTube. They are a group of people that deserve peace. Right, so this person could... Right, so searched it. Can you change your settings on Facebook Marketplace to Newcastle upon Tyne? And then search for Kirby and the Forgotten Land.
There's a lot for sale. There's loads for sale.
They've all got the same background, these games.
They're just on people's kitchen tables.
Yeah, but it's all the same kitchen table, isn't it?
No.
Oh.
But is it the one where, have you found it, Forgotten Land? Is it?
No, but there's none available in Newcastle within 2 kilometres.
Okay, so he might have gone to ground. He might have scammed me.
He's taken that £22.50 and he's fled.
He might have scammed me.
He's fled Newcastle.
Scammed me, got wind of this podcast.
Oh.
And then he's like, we've got to move we've got to get out of here. We've got to go to the sewers. We've got to live in the net. We've got to live underground.
Scamming you is like scamming a mafia don. You don't want to be around for the aftermath, do you?
But really what I would like to do is just get everybody in the world to message this kid and say, is it still available? But I fully appreciate that it's, as angry as I am with the kid, what I really am is embarrassed myself. And it's...
Do you think the person you found, Sunil, is the same person? Are they saying don't?
No, I think it's not. It must be someone else entirely. I don't, yeah.
If anyone is going to be doing any vigilante justice, which we do not condone, make sure you're doing it on the right person.
Always, if you're going to be a vigilante, make sure you get the right person and batter them instead of the wrong person.
Have either of you two been scammed?
I think I bought some trainers, which never happened.
That's expensive, isn't it? Oh, but maybe not if you're getting them on a cheaper site. Yeah, it speaks to just the general. We live in this age of, it's like we're basically at the tail end of the neoliberal project, and the general vibe for the last 40 years has been do whatever you want and fuck the consequences, which I believe we talked about before. So it's where we are now. Like, this is what happens when no guide. Like when there's no restrictions or moderation put in place. Because you're like anti-regulation, but you're like, you know what? Sometimes having like rules and protections and like working practices put in place is good because it stops this.
I think it's worse than that in a way, because you're like, we're expected to know so much more about transactions and money and stuff than we ever were. Like all the stuff we have to keep in our heads, like the price of gas and electricity, how to do a pension, change your savings rates every few months. Everything is like sold to us as like the illusion of choice. We're like, oh, you got so much more choice now. It's like, yeah, but now I've got a million more decisions to make and everyone is trying to fuck me.
I need to be an expert.
Yeah, you have to be an expert on everything, or you have to religiously read the money saving expert email. Otherwise, some corporation is trying to take every penny they can from you. The interesting thing is, like, why do you have to think so deeply about every step of what should be a normal transaction?
Yes, yeah, you're right.
But then this is, the equivalent of someone, it doesn't look like it, but it's someone coming up to you in a pub and going, do you want to buy a video game?
Yes.
But it doesn't look like it because it's all so online.
Why not entirely shun the secondhand market and buy directly from the corporation itself, which is what they want?
Or go the sex shop, as in CEX.
This is it. Whenever you are in doubt in your life, I've disrespected. If we take it into a religious, if CEX is, I've devoted my life. I pray to CEX. I left the church. And I need to apologise. This is the young people running the till at CX in Carlisle are going to get a full apology from me. They're not going to know what to do with it. I'm going to say, I love CX.
I love it.
And I'll be back and I'm going to tell you exactly. I am going to buy now, because now I've been thwarted. I need to play this Kirby Forgotten Realm game. I need, maybe I could get that for my birthday.
From who? Not us.
No, not you guys.
We're not getting you shit.
Right. Should we read a letter?
Evening, lads. Okay, this is how it starts. It starts, evening, lads. Just thought I'd drop a message of gratitude, or possibly a scornful one. I'll let you decide. As a man in his early 40s, I'm currently studying for a degree in engineering to get the paperwork to supplement the 20 plus years experience I have in the sector while working a full-time job and with other commitments. Bloody hell.
I love this because it's instantly a gripe. Yeah. It's instantly a moan.
We get the tone now. Okay, here we go. Now, for one of the modules of the course, I had a couple of very wordy assignments due prior to the Christmas break. Being busy with work and other things, I left it until this week to fully research, write, and submit. At about hour 25 into writing and researching these reports, and I started to lose all hope in finishing, as well as my recoverable levels of sanity. Then rural concerns started playing on my speaker. I listened for the next 20 plus hours non-stop until submission of my reports. Here are my headline memories. Gin can vigilante vengeance. Ineligible sports day competitor smear campaign. Radlers. Fringe fears and successes. Shirtless attempts at wife seduction.
That's when James is walking around topless trying to break my marriage up.
Amazing choose-your-own-path adventures. Don't remember any of those. Joining the seedy underground veg-growing subculture. Copious amounts of muting and editing are required when Chris is on a sugar rush, hyper, or just excited after seeing something vaguely amusing. Plus many more.
Had just been scammed by a child.
Shit. Now realise I should have probably proofread the reports one more time before submission. Have a great Christmas and New Year's break all. Chris from the South Wales Valleys. A Spotify review of 5 out of 5 given, not capable of checking internet speeds due to ineptitude and or being awake for almost 2 days. P.S. This is the last thing I'm doing before finally going to bed. Lovely.
What an interesting... It's nice to be told that you're just doing a great job, but I'm worried about what grade he'll be getting for this. Also, this podcast believes that you should always pursue professional certification at every juncture. I think
even if you feel annoyed at having to do it.
Yeah, even if you're annoyed, because what does he say? What field he does work in? Engineering,
but it does seem like he just needs a pass.
But has he just been like walking around with no certificates and stuff? Just like what?
What? Just building bridges freelance?
Yeah, building bridges without.
Is this Brad Pitt? He's like an amateur. What's it called? Architect in his spare time.
Is he an amateur architect?
Yeah, he's big into architecture. And he just does his own stuff. And it's like,
shush.
I wouldn't go in a building built by him.
He probably just likes mid-century modern, doesn't he? Which is fairly simple to do, isn't it? A bit of wood, bit of glass. Stick a tree in the middle.
This just falls down to the category of like celebrities doing, like Jim Carrey's doing a painting exhibition and you're like, yeah, that's fine. It's something to do for fun, isn't it? But it doesn't mean, I bet, basically what I'm trying to say is, I bet Brad Pitt's a totally fine amateur architect, but I bet I won't be happy with pointing, do you know what I mean, on his new build houses. I've had a plumber in because we had no heat. We had a new friend. He's from Lancashire, which is nobody's perfect, but we lost his heating for a couple of days because we had a leak in the central heating system. And he was saying I've got a really good boiler, but it needs a service. And he can do that service, but he's sort of retiring, so he hasn't applied to be able to give the corgi certification out. Do you know what I mean? So he's like, I can physically do it, but you need to get somebody in so that you can get the certificate, which is the important bit.
Yes.
So this feels like that situation. It's I'm sure this guy's I'm sure Chris is a brilliant engineer.
Yeah.
But you need the certificate, otherwise no one's going to take you seriously.
Yeah. You also need to take the certificate seriously as well, which it doesn't seem like you're doing.
Is he asking you to pay on friends and family?
Oh, he just needs a little bit of money to get to his first certificate. No, Chris, we appreciate you listening to the podcast, but universally we have agreed that you need to pull your socks up a little bit and not listen to 20 hours of a podcast when you should be studying like Isambard, Kingdom Brunel and stuff.
20 plus hours in. And then he started on the rural concerns mega mix.
I did a mega mix. Yeah, just so basically what we're saying is if you encounter an engineer called Chris, do not hire him. And
if he looks a bit tired.
If he's too tired, he needs a rest and he needs to take it seriously. Oh, I'm glad we managed to sort that issue out.
Nice one. Do we have time for a second email?
I don't know if do you think we do?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it quickly then.
Good evening, lads. Long-time listener, first-time correspondent, huge fan. 141.2 download / 26.2 upload. Not fucking bad, Ian.
Communal garden.
Right. Apologies for bringing yet another rubbish-based story to the table, but I couldn't help but think of you as I followed this story from my local area. Turns out the council takes a firm stance on not dumping animals at the tip, but it seems like the police only really give a shit if it's a horse, or at least not a deer. All the best and a Merry Christmas to you. Okay, here's the link. Let's have a look at this link from the BBC.
Yeah, the headline: horse left at tip was actually deer.
Police.
Yeah, a dead horse that was dumped at a waste recycling centre was actually a deer, North Yorkshire Police have said.
Alerted officers to what was thought to be a carcass of a horse or a pony.
Oh, following further investigations, the animal remains have been identified as a deer. We are no longer appealing for information.
Oh, why do you think that is?
Christmas venison.
Oh, because it could have just walked in.
But I think broadly what's going on here is that basically deer are so beautiful. We have lots of them near us. And even in 5 years of living up here, every time I see one, it feels like magic. I love seeing every time. It's like takes my breath away. But I believe that they are technically considered to be a pest. You know, yeah, because they sort of they don't have a predator. They're rampant. They destroy a lot of farmland and stuff like this. So they are a consideration, whereas a horse is a creature that isn't allowed to roam free, which means that it's been dumped. Oh, I don't know. But that feels broadly like it might be heading in the right direction, you know?
Yeah. I just went to Google "are deer pests?" and my first suggested Google, the Google, how you get the search suggested questions.
Yeah.
My first one is, "Are deer silly?"
Are they?
Don't know. Deer are fairly intelligent creatures who do stupid things on highways. AI overview, deer are not silly.
They're not silly. They just perhaps haven't, they haven't evolved the ability to fully interpret the UK's motorway system. That don't make them silly. That makes us a parasite.
According to the British Deer Society, deer should not be classed as pests.
Well, they would say that, wouldn't they?
Yeah, that's probably a website made by deers.
Yeah, it was big deer money. Oh, yeah, okay, so so I talked slightly half-cocked there. but when has that ever stopped us before?
It would seem that, the police care more about horses than deers.
If deers are pests, then we've got a little mystery on his hands as to why. Do you know what? These could probably be solved by reading the full article, but we won't do it. We'll figure it out.
You know what? I don't think it could, because that is the full article.
But it means they don't care because it's like basically just a rat dying in a bin, isn't it?
Maybe it was a bad deer known to the police.
Yeah, maybe it had one of those little Hitler mustaches.
Yeah, maybe.
Something to think about. Maybe it listed Nintendo Switch games that it never had any intention of posting to the person.
Well, they didn't even own it.
Don't email to ask if it's present, because it's quite difficult for me to email back because I'm a deer.
Because I've got hooves. It's got hooves. This is a pain. There you go. And that is very much a full circle episode. That's a level of writing.
That is master storytelling, Chris. What someone could say.
Someone could say, not me. I just sell tickets to my UK debut tour, which is in February.
2025?
Unless you're a scammer or a deer.
Thank you for listening to yet another episode of Rural Concerns.
Right, here's some stuff that you can do to help us and be nice. One, if you like this podcast, you can leave a review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. It has to be a 5-star review. If it's not a 5-star review, something bad will happen. What will happen, James?
You'll start spamming their email address saying they're a scammer.
We'll get you on the scammers law. There's that. Other things that you could do is email us at christopher@alovelytime.co.uk, which is an email address where we sort of like get us letters and we'll talk about them on an episode. But if you really want to support us, you can go the extra mile by going to patreon.com/rural concerns. And on there, price of a pint. Every sort of 2 weeks, we put out some bonus episodes, and there's like a chat group on Discord that you get access to, which is a real big laugh. They're calling themselves the Creamers. I had nothing to do with that. And they're a cultured bunch. They've been having good Christmases. They've watched arts, cinema, Christmas cocktails. Do you know, it's quite a decadent group. Whereas me, I often feel like, because I'm working class, often feel like sort of, you know, like I'm masquerading there because I've got a bottle of Advocaat and I need to sell it, you know?
Yeah, it's better when the scripted tend to be tighter, don't they?
No. This is it's like jazz, man. It's just, we're feeling it. This is fun.
Rural Concerns was edited by Joseph Eject USB Safely Burrows. Our music is by Sam O'Leary and our artwork is by Poppy Hillstead.
You see, if you're reading it just off a page, you can't always get sentences. If you're just making it up on the fly. It's like basically what Sunil's done there. Sunil's reading.
He's made sense concisely.
Rural Concerns is produced by Egg Mountain for A Lovely Time Productions.
Night, everyone.
Bye.
Bye. In a way, the time when people were accountable for their actions is the real forgotten land.
Damn. He took his glasses off for that. Shame the video cut out briefly.
Bong. Like that.